Where is my music? Wait a minute here. Oh, okay. Interesting. Yes. Apparently, Pretzel is saying that I need to add the YouTube channel so that they can clear my channel. Okay. So if you go to youtube.infinite.red, this is very meta because I'm currently streaming right there and people have clicked through to that. So fun. I think I'm streaming. Looks like I'm streaming. Okay, yeah, it says live. Okay, cool. So is this the ID? Or it just says or URL, so I'll drop that URL, the whole URL in there. Not valid. Really? Is it that? Validated. Yes. Okay, cool. Let's go. Been linked to your account. Nice. Question I have is, why is it so quiet? I can't hear it. I can't hear it. Oh, it's coming through the wrong, it's coming through the wrong speakers. Okay, let's kill Pretzel. Try again. Happy Monday, everybody. By the way, thanks for the follow, Neutral Goods. I think I'm on the right one. No, I'm not. I'm not on the right output. That's why, the whole time. Okay. Okay, now I hear it coming through. Let's see here. We'll see how this goes. This song, Cosmic Visions, it always reminds me of the loading music for the first-person shooter Squad. If you've ever played that. And or Project Reality. Okay, I need to tell people that I am live. So let's go here, profile. Where's my tweet about it? Okay. And TK Schillinsey, thanks for the follow. Appreciate you hanging out with me today. It's always nice to get a follow right off the bat. Start things out the right way. You and Neutral Goods. Live now. Let's see here. https://youtube.infinite.red, which is this channel. And that's YouTube. I need to just make this like a shortcut in my paste. And then Twitch, https, Twitch TV, Jamon Holmgren. Let's close that out. I'm gonna make that, let's see here, pin evergreen. Okay, so now I think I should be able to just copy and paste that. Oh, yeah. Post the Twitch link in the tweet as well. Yes, I got that. I think. Good enough. Use the link on your Twitter profile. Thank you. Yeah, rn.live. It works, you know. Twitch, rn.live, and YouTube, youtube.infinite.red. But yeah, I appreciate you coming by. And AHMTBICER. I can't talk today. Is that one of the Ahmeds? I have several Ahmeds, so I need to know who that is. But usually they're on YouTube, so the reason I ask is just AHM looks like Ahmed, but that totally could be wrong. Okay. Kirk from Virtual Coffee, been meaning to catch one. Hey, cool. Hey, how you doing, Kirk? Good to see you. Virtual Coffee, I need to get to one of those. You're not in the YouTube. Okay. Ahmed. Not Ahmed. There's Ahmed. How you doing, Ahmed? You know, it's going well. It's going well. So let me really quickly just kind of give a quick little thing here. Paul Wanjohi or Wanyohi. Thanks for the follow. I appreciate it. Nice of you to hang out with us here today. So, everything's going pretty good. I do have a funeral to go to this afternoon. This guy that, he died of a heart condition. He's had heart issues for many years, and I've known him for a very long time, probably 30 years. And, we used to go over to his house all the time. He's an older, you know, he's probably like, late 60s, I would say. Somewhere in there. I don't actually know how old he was. Hey, Danny. And so, like, definitely someone that I knew and I want to go to his funeral, but slightly awkward timing, 2:00 p.m., but yeah, I'm gonna make it happen. So I'll be working on 0.67 here today. Upgrade to React Native 0.67 by someone who is a contributor. And can we upgrade the boilerplate React Native version? Yes, we can. Benenchi. Hardest part of upgrading React Native apps is actually upgrading the Xproj file. It's true. Danny, sorry to hear about a friend that sucks. Yeah, it's pretty sad. I mean, obviously, you know, I'm friends with his kids mostly, and like, but I knew him. He's just a super swell guy. Really, really nice. Always cool to be around. Very encouraging guy. Died in his sleep of a heart issue. He only had probably about 30% heart function, something like that. So, yeah, it is what happens in life. Funerals kind of give you that perspective, hey? Let's go to Ignite here, and whoa, Z Ignite. I'm using a thing called Z. Have you ever used Z? Okay, GitHub, Z, fuzzy, I think it's like a fuzzy finder. That's FZ, FZF, just Z. Okay, here we go. Think this is it? Yeah, I like it. I just use brew to install it. So brew info Z. And it's like J. There's one called J. I just ignore the Xproj changes usually. Does that work, Danny? 068 upgrade diff, scary, bunch of new files for the new architecture, says Ahmed. I assume it's mostly automatic from Xcode. Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting one. It's gonna be an interesting one. But yeah, here's Z, and I just brew install Z. And Z is really cool because you can just Z and then part of the word and it just jumps you right to it. So, okay. So first we need a branch. So git checkout -b, and we're gonna go I'm just going to call it React Native 067. Yeah. The new architecture is coming, and that's something that we're definitely keeping an eye on. We have that React Native episode, if you haven't listened to it. React Native radio episode, so go listen to that about the new architecture. I've never manually touched Xproj stuff, and it always worked. Well, that's how you know. Hey, MVD. Good morning to you as well. For my terminal, autocomplete and more, I use Fig. Yeah, Fig's cool. I tried it for a little bit. It got a little bit in the way for me, so I ended up not. But it is kind of interesting. It's a cool concept. And of course, you all know, I am a GitHub Copilot fan. So anything to do with AI and code is probably going to take over the world. It's just how it works. Okay, let's jump to the boilerplate to start with. And yarn up here. Because that's how we roll. And in the meantime, I'm going to go look at... oh, by the way, this one here, use ES6 imports by Carlos in Storybook Toggle and remove the component from state. So refactor the Storybook Toggle, use ES6 import when importing and remove the component from state. This is causing an issue across the app regarding networking and random blank pages. In my case, I was getting a blank page on Android. I fixed it with this. Closes all 3 of these issues, supposedly. Yeah, so the question I have so this is a storybook thing here, Danny. Z feels like a not great name, but the tool looks cool. I know, I totally get it. Fig, pretty neat. Terminal companion if you like IntelliSense. That's true, MVD. I've been on the waiting list for Copilot over 7 months now, nothing yet, and I hear stories of devs requesting access in 12 hours they get it. Not sure what the criteria is to get in. I was gonna make a joke, but that's not fair to you. I have Copilot, and it didn't take real long for me to get it, so it's amazing. I don't talk about it on Twitter because how cool it is. I feel like it's a competitive advantage. Copilot will revolutionize how code is written. You can mark that down. I guarantee it. It is absolutely 100% the way we're going to be writing code from now on. I have been working on this RPG game for with my brothers for the like over the weekend. Some of them are doing art, some of them are doing like music, some are doing sound effects, some are doing story, writing, all these things, and I'm doing a lot of the coding. Me and my son and my brother Denton. And but the reality is that Copilot's writing most of the code. And what I do is I write comments. I write hints, I edit the stuff that it writes. I'm basically like the editor. It's the writer. So I say, we need to go this direction. It writes it, then I go through and I edit it. And I would say that over half the code Copilot wrote it very well. Like very, very, very good code. And I am super happy with GitHub Copilot. So I hope you get it soon, MVD. Using imports like that is not the same though, I agree. That's one of my problems with what they're doing here, Danny. Inline requires don't work the same as imports. I have GitHub Pro, says MVD. If you don't have Copilot, try tab 9 for something in between. Okay. Throw some dollars to Microsoft. I can get in quicker, but no. Tab 9 isn't polished. Some of the videos I've seen with Copilot. I haven't tried tab 9, but it's hard to beat where Copilot is because of how much like data they're working from, you know. Yeah, sure. In fact, I would love to, let's see here. What's your Dan? What's your Dan? Is it just Danny HYW? HW? HW. The question I have is if we'll be loading Storybook in prod, which is generally something we want to avoid in prod builds. So I really want to know what's, because like for me, like just importing at the top here feels bad. I feel like what we really want to do, like this right here, we're requiring it and we just pull it in, as needed with that. And it only is in this use effect. And by the way, is this like if dev? Yeah. So if dev, if it's not dev, we're not doing it at all. And otherwise we are loading it and then, yeah. So like, yeah, so I don't know exactly. Like they're complaining about some issues, so obviously there's something going on here, and we need to figure out what that is, but I'm a little bit worried that this is not the right direction to go. So, thanks Danny. The data set is huge and Microsoft has a competitive advantage here with Copilot to train the AI monster. Yeah, data is like king here. Danny, so that's exactly the issue with this change. Importing at the top will execute the code. Yeah. Anything that isn't in a function anyway. Yeah. Yeah, that's my problem with it. We don't want to import it like this statically. And that's, yeah. But like if we can fix the issues that they're talking about, I wonder if there are any ways to reliably replicate the issues that they're talking about. Data is AI oil. Succinctly put. But GitHub Copilot is the way to code, and I believe that so strongly that I'm basically requiring that my developers get it and use it on projects. Like there's very few things that I'm like, you have to do this. That's one of them. I mean, I'm not really interested in. It's not that I'm not interested in debate about it. It's just that I'm not interested in sort of like reluctance. It's one thing to, have legitimate, complaints about it one way or another. But it's another to be just like, well, why do we have to change? That's not something I'm all that interested in at this point. Like, it's the way to go forward. It's an absolute monster. All right, so we're in the boilerplate here. We're looking to upgrade. The other thing that we have here is we have this blog post. So let's go read the blog post. Announcing React Native 0.67 by Lorenzo and Luna. So Lorenzo works at Microsoft. I forgot about that. Happy New Year, everybody. Today we are announcing, let's make sure that I have it on there. Good. Okay. The latest release of React Native 0.67, along with some updates on the release process that we've been working on for the past few months. Highlights of 0.67, improvements to recent interest. Okay. As mentioned on Meta's Half 2 2021 plans, React Native is attempting more frequent releases for shorter turnaround time for new features and fixes, like the new architecture to land in the community. Naturally, many releases will focus on fixes and improvements. Notable changes coming in 0.67, lean core removals, date picker Android is going away. Or, well, it's getting moved out, I would imagine. Bump Gradle version to 7.2, Kotlin to 1.5. Notable callout continues to depend on Hermes, so that has not changed from 66. By the way, what version are we even on? Uh, 66.3. Okay, good. 379 commits, 74 contributors, full changelog, release testers. Oh yeah, Mark, of course. Surface to regression for Hermes 0.10, which will be first fixed in 0.11 for the 6.8 release. 67 compatible version of their lib for reanimated. That's very important. Elias from Mattermost and Mike Hardy. Yeah, good old Mike. Some good friends of Infinite Red there. Okay, Rainbow, Calm, and Ledger Live. Improvements to the release process. As mentioned, React Native has been restructuring the release pipeline to allow for more frequent releases such that new features and fixes can roll out faster to the community. Coordination and knowledge sharing. Invested in our documentation of releases to cover how to run a release. Emma learns code. Thanks for the follow. I appreciate it. I assume you're new to coding and coming to hang out. Hang out with us. Thanks for coming and hanging out. Invested in our document. Okay, so more documentation, coordination, moving all of that to pre-release status and patches to a discussion group. So here's the discussion group, and it has this stuff. I should really probably subscribe to this. I'm gonna should we release road to proposals? Yeah, okay. All right. Clarity of responsibility, scaling. Okay, release candidate signals. Release tester, where React Native developers working on open source apps commit to testing release candidates. Faster signal, open source are particularly useful due to the availability of source code to help debug any regressions. With this program in place, a release tester surfaced a regression in 067. We're able to, I like that. I like this idea where essentially they're trying out release candidates on open source apps, because there are quite a few open source React Native apps out there, including the Chain React app, although that one is Expo, so it's less useful for this, but yeah. By the way, Facebook and us are talking about some additional integrations with Infinite Red for this. So yeah, looks good. Let's go look at, let's see, full changelog. Let's go take a look at that before we move forward. Also, okay, so 6.7. So access media location permission to the permissions Android library. Snap to alignment to React scroll view. Red box for C++ errors. Experimental touch dispatch path. Added cancel button tint color prop for the action sheet iOS to change only the text color of the cancel button. And those look fairly basic. Changed. Remove event listener to remove listener. That was keyboard remove event listener. Let's just make sure that we don't have it in here. Back handler. Okay, so is remove event listener on back handler? So React Native back handler. Let's take a look at this. Let's make sure we're on the right version here. 067. Okay, good. Right. Expo is using the normal React Native package now, though, which means it's getting closer to being relevant. Yeah, that's true. The latest SDK is. Add event listener. I believe remove. Yeah, it still shows remove event listener. So we're good on that. That's the only place where I even see that. So we're good. All right, good. No longer need an explicit configuration for Hermes. So we wouldn't need this, I guess. Okay, we'll come back to that. Or we won't. Well, actually, we're going to be looking at our diff. Optimize font handling for iOS. Don't hang out for 60 seconds if a package... Huh? That's helpful. Change to 10 seconds. Okay. Removed global, which I don't think we use. Nope, we don't. Good. Date picker Android. I don't think we're using that at all. Yeah, we're not. Whoops. And let's see here. What else do we have? We have animated value X. Ignore the global. These are just fixes though. Metro config to block list. Now is this going to change? Okay, so deprecates blacklist RE. Renaming it to block list. Okay, so I don't think we're using blacklist RE. I'll just look for blacklist in general. I don't think we have that, yeah. Well, let me do that without that. Yeah, nope, not anywhere, so we don't need to worry about that. Removed. Fixed. Oh, these are just fixes. Okay. Yeah, I don't see a lot of this stuff. You know what would be really cool? Is if there was a CLI that could tell you if anything conflicts with changes. So like we have all these things, right? You could simply looked for, you could, like fixes are fine. Like you probably wouldn't need, you could maybe warn and say, hey, your align items may change because we have this fixed line right here. But it could even like parse what's going on here. So like removed unused files. So it could just like generate for your, actually Gantt, would AI work here? Could AI analyze your code base and look at the changelog and be like, hey, here's a relevant changelog line for you because your code includes date picker Android and it mentions remove date picker Android from React Native here. You might want to take a look at this line in the changelog. That's kind of an interesting idea. We should put that in our back pocket. Maybe that'd be something we could actually work on stream. That'd be fun. I know, right, Danny? Do you think that'd be useful? I feel like that'd be useful. And that uses Gantt's like... It's a bit of a pipeline. What do you mean by that, Gantt? Like that'd be a lot of work? Okay, so those are all fixed. Security, logging root view params outside the dev debug mode. Okay, that's good. And then let's see. And we were reading the right ones, right? Yeah, V67. Okay. And we have a whole bunch for V6. Wait, we're already on 67.2. Okay. So 671. Remove alerts window when call to hide, and then just some fixes, really. Okay, that's helpful. Probably, possibly several AI models in conjunction. Ah, interesting. Gotta have that coffee cup. Is that the cup that keeps the coffee? Excuse me. This is not. So, this is not one of those. I've heard that the batteries run down really fast on those. This is a coffee cup that, sorry about the coffee spill there. Okay, it's awesome. I love this cup. I think Gantt has one too. It has like a cork bottom, which is really nice because when you set it down, it doesn't like clatter. It's almost like it basically has a built-in coaster, right? Which is really cool. And it, I actually got this from Jim Vasilopoulos, who has a podcast. Let me go. Jim Vasilopoulos podcast. Let's see. It is the Leadership Podcast. boilerplate.com. Great podcast. Highly recommend you listen to it. Jim has been a business advisor for Infinite Red. Here's Jim right here. And he sent that over to me. He's a great guy. And there's also Jan. The two of them, they do some really cool stuff on this podcast. They interview some cool people. They have some really good stuff on there. Anyway, he sent over this Business Wisdom cup, I think. I'm pretty sure. And it's, yeah, nice mug tech. I tend not to keep coffee long enough to let it get cool because I drink so fast. And then the other thing is I don't mind lukewarm coffee. I know, I'm weird. But I think Danny says, I think Date Picker Android might be used in React Native Storybook knobs add-on in 5.3. More motivation for me getting version 6 out. I know, right? Maybe at some point, like, we should do a collab stream, Danny, where we work on Storybook 6, React Native Storybook V6 together. Let's have some more discussions about that. That'd be kind of fun. For those of you in chat, do you think that would be interesting, where we work on getting Storybook V6 out? That'd be cool. Heated by induction, phone charger. Yeah, but what I've heard is that people have to literally keep their cup on there, or else like the battery. Oh, you're talking about it doesn't have a battery. That's it. Sounds cool to you? Cool, Danny. Well, we'll chat about that some more later. All right, so let's now look at the React Native upgrade helper. And we're going from, what is it? We're going from React Native 66.3 to, and I think we're just going up to 67.2. So let's click this, show me how to upgrade. This is, I'm gonna put this into, I'm not gonna put this into chat. Someone else can do it if they want to. So let's go through and try this. No battery, okay. That'd be a great topic, says Derek. Cool. Adil says, hello sir, I'm facing this issue with new version 67. Command phase script execution failed with a non-zero exit code in Apple M1 machine, although it's working fine with React Native 66.4. Ooh. Well, I have an M1, so we'll see if we run into that. Cool tech, since the temp, the coffee, etc. Bit much for a coffee lover, but neat tech nonetheless. Expensive too, yeah. Yeah. Okay, let's do this. First off, let's open the package.json and change it to 67.2. Oh, I am not showing my screen. You all are just being very patient with me, but I was not showing my screen. So what I did was I went to the React Native Upgrade Helper, React Native Community. You can see this. Just Google React Native Upgrade Helper. And then 66.3 to 67.2 is what I selected, because this is the current version I'm on. This is the one I want to go to, and I click this show me how to upgrade. And now I can check these off as I do them. Do you all prefer the split view or the unified view? What does chat prefer? Because I'll put whatever you want. I don't mind either way. I probably slightly like the unified a little better, but it's a little bit like, I don't mind either way. But let me go back here and get this lined up. All right, so React Native 0.66.3. Sort of a thermocup thing, keeps coffee warm for ages just by having a lid, basically. Yeah, I have one of those too. It works great. Okay, so we have that. The bundle dot bundle config. We don't have a dot bundle config. Oh, this is new. Bundle Force Ruby platform. What is this? Yet another local. Sorry, yet another root level dot file or dot folder. Why isn't there a dot config so you can put this in there? Like, you're already putting it in a folder. Why? What is this? Do we need this? I'm just gonna like Google it. React Native bundle configs. This is old. Very old. Okay. Cam Usi, thanks for the follow. I appreciate it. Unified might be better for stream, otherwise text might get too small. Yeah, that might be. That's true. I can kind of zoom in here. Does anybody know what this bundle config is? Bundle thing just makes it install locally, the Ruby stuff. You don't need it, I think. I did it though just because. It's handy for CI machines since you don't need sudo permissions if it's local. Really? Okay, well that makes sense then. So .bundle is a new folder. So I'm just gonna come back here, new folder, .bundle. And then in there, just config, and we drop that in. Okay, I'm gonna rely on you. Actually, I don't know the format. Is it just? I don't know the format for. I better not. I assume you put a. Is it that or is it this? I just don't know. Make Ruby install gems locally in vendor bundle. This is helpful for CI, especially since you won't need sudo to run gem install. I guess. Yeah, that's what Danny's telling me, and I'm allowing him to other bundle exec pod install or other stuff that's Ruby based. Yeah, I think you're right. It's either Ruby or it's like Bash. Either way, that would be the hashtag. Okay, so I think that's reasonable. I just don't like yet another dot file. Like, really? Well, you know what? We've managed to mostly, I mean, I don't know why we have dot solidarity. Shouldn't this be in, shouldn't solidarity be in the package, Jason? Actually, that's a good question. Is Gantt using Cosmic config in solidarity? So, whoops. How come there's no link to the... Oh, there it is. My bad. You're not. Oh, dang it. We're not using Cosmic config. I mean, you are using... let me look. How are you picking up on the config itself? Like when you run it, report. So actually this is probably an extension. I don't know why I'm going into this. Does not need to be. But let me look. Solidarity, plugin, add plugin. No, that's not what we're looking for. Functions, there's probably like check requirement. How does it find the .solidarity file after all? And of course it's not going to actually... GitHub search is so bad. It's so bad. Is there an exact match? There's no exact match, so I'm just gonna have to like scroll through a million .solid errors. You know what? It's literally easier for me to clone this down and do a search locally. That's how bad GitHub search is. All right, whatever. It's fine. We're not gonna mess with it right now. But this is an example where it's like, oh, could I just pull this into a Solidarity like package JSON key so I didn't have to have yet another file in here? Because there's no real reason that this has to be a separate file. It doesn't help at all. Like, you could just read the package JSON, pull out the Solidarity key, and, you know, go with it. But that's okay. All right. So, but we do have, yeah. So that's new. So what I'm gonna do here is, as I go through these, I'm gonna check these off. So I'm gonna check that one off as well. Editor config is deleted now. I don't think we even have it. Yeah, we don't. So I can check that one off. Cool. Flow config, we don't have. We don't use flow. Get attributes is also deleted. And we don't have that either. So we can check that off. PR is welcome, says Gant. GitHub search is kind of lame, but I've been really liking the command K thing they added. Oh yeah, like fuzzy. That's cool. Is command T? No, command T is for the, yeah, so command K. Ah, that's cool. You can just jump right to it and you can just type it in. Nice, I like it. Okay, so Ruby version is added with 2.7.4. I don't know. I don't know if I want to do that. I don't know if I want to do that. Like, I get why they're doing that, but I'm not a huge fan of that. Another dot file, for one thing. Is it that important? There's a gem file. Wait a minute here. Wait, what? Am I correct in saying, in looking at this and seeing there's a gem file at the root? Does anybody still use Flow? Yeah, if you work at Facebook. That's about it. They're adding a gem file at the root. Why would they add a gem file at the root? Adding CocoaPods. Oh, it's for local installations. You don't have to have a... I see. So this is all part of that stuff above too. Well, you know what? I don't think it's necessary. I really don't. And in that case, we probably don't need the bundle either. People use the CocoaPods from Gem. Yeah. This is actually kind of this is a judgment call here. We don't have to do this. We do not have to do this. This would change the way that certain things are done. Probably would have to mess with the solidarity rules too. No more sudo gem install CocoaPods. Hey, Luis. It's because they're using bundle.io to consolidate deps. Go check bundle.io. Wait, what? What's bundle.io? I mean, bundler. But what's bundle.io? I've used bundler like crazy. Are you talking about just bundler? I mean, I've used bundler for 12 years, something like that. So it's not anything different. Bundle.io, stuff in the upgrade helper, just shows the diff between the, yeah. So most of it is optional usually. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, Danny. I don't think we're gonna do that. I don't think we're gonna do that. I don't think we're gonna have the bundler or bundle.bundle file. And I don't think we're gonna have the Ruby stuff. In my opinion, I don't think we need any of the gem file lock, the Ruby version, or that bundle folder. If you disagree with me, I'm perfectly willing to listen to you, but that is my opinion. So mirrored here, I will. I think mirrored here is fine. I don't need to change that. Okay, so RN edit text material. This is in the Android app drawable. So what is this? Let's go look at that. Source main res drawable. So Android app source main res, and then what is it? Drawable? We don't even have a drawable here. React Native. Okay. It's interesting they put a bit.ly. Bundler. Yeah, totally, Luis. I've used it a lot and I get the, the benefits of it for sure, but text input drawable to avoid null pointer exception runtime error. Re-rendering a large number of text inputs with key prop on the screen will trigger the below null pointer exception. All right. Okay, so this is something that would be important. You know what? I'm not going to question it. I'm just going to add it. So it sounds like this was kind of a difficult thing to track down. We have drawable, so res drawable. So let's create a folder. Drawable. And inside of there, we need this here. New file, call it that. Then we'll paste that in. And yeah, okay. That is done. Just check that off. Okay, and then right here within styles.xml, it looks like we're adding that. So that would be under values styles XML. Okay, and then we need to, in the customize your theme, we need to put it right underneath that. Like so. And in fact, I'm going to put a link to refer to this fix here. It's a workaround, but Okay. So just so people can look at that reference, and then we'll know why this exists, why this is here, and then there's that, and then this one here. So state pressed false. State focused false. Okay, all right. Okay, so we got that. Let's go back to the upgrade helper and check that one off. Nice. And now we're removing Maven Central and Local there in repositories under Build Gradle. And let's see here. That's under repositories. All projects repositories. So all projects repositories, we're moving central and local. Those are gone. And then under like line 32, but ours is edited, so before Google. we are putting, I think it's still under the same thing. Yeah. So it's under, that's line 35. Where is this? Yeah, we're kind of in the same area. So we don't want to fetch React Native from Maven Central as there are older versions over there. Okay, so we're excluding Facebook React over there at Maven. Okay. And for some reason we're just like ditching these two things, so. Okay. Making progress. I think we can check off build Gradle, right? Yeah, we can. Okay, back to it. All right, so Gradle properties, default value. So, is that just a comment? It is just a comment. Okay, 1024. That must have just been a typo. Okay, well that's fine. That's an easy one. Got that one. And then we have, let's see here, Gradle wrapper properties. Let's take a look at that in just a second. All right, so the distribution URL. So we're upgrading Gradle here. I'm just gonna search for that line. We got it. And that's gonna be, I'm just gonna grab the whole line. And that will now be 7.2. Check that one off. And then the Xcode proj has a bunch of stuff. Let's look at this. So it's removing, or it's actually just changing that reference. Danny says I can ignore this. Danny claims I can ignore this here. I don't know. Can I? I don't know. So this is adding libpods are in diff. Libpods. I don't know what that is and why that's important. Target support. Debug. Config. XC config. Wait a minute here. So it's adding debug. You know, I'm going to make this larger and change it to the... Actually, no. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. So it's going from like release or release to debug on some of these things here. Yeah, .debug. I don't take the blame, says Danny. I always ignore it. This stuff is usually changed by running pod install. That's fair. That's fair. This stuff does seem like it would be kind of a pod install situation here. Pods. Which I do need to do. So I'm gonna run yarn and npx pod install in the background while I'm looking at this. Some of this stuff might be like a different pod version. Just handling it differently, you know? Okay, so now this is interesting. See right here? We've dealt with this before. This right here is... This sets off all kinds of alarm bells. So, I was dealing with some M1. I was setting up my M1. And this might be your problem. Let's see, who was it who was saying that they had M1 issues earlier? Adil. If you're still there, Adil, do not do this. Excluded architectures equals ARM64. I do not like this solution at all. In fact, they are removing it, which is good. I'm very, very happy that they're doing that. Because to me, this was never a good solution. To me, this was a bad solution. This was not good at all. It was basically saying, we're not going to use the M1, we're just going to do Rosetta for ARM64, basically pretend like we're Intel. And that was just kicking the can, is what it was doing. I did not like that. Okay, Adil. Make sure that you don't have this right here. And in fact, I have shift.infinite.red. This isn't the only thing you have to do for the M1. But go to this, don't use the wrong JD key for React Native if you're using an M1 Mac, or you'll be going 2x as slow and not know why. So you can read this article that I wrote. But yeah, this is better. So I'm gonna go verify. Yes, good. We have those blank already, and that's good. That's what it should be. Should not be the ARM64. I'm glad that they reset that back. Okay, and then this one is interesting. I think we also removed this. Let me look for... Yes, we also removed this. So this right here was not a good addition, and it was removed, and we don't have that either, so that was a good thing. Looks like we otherwise are in alignment there. And that's also the case there. So yeah, we're good. We're good here. Yes. Okay, so we can check that one off, and look at that. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. It like just did a little thing there. So your upgrade is done. Yay. Okay. So let's look at the diff. First thing we did was, well, first thing that shows up here is we added this drawable. We put that why this is here. We removed Maven Central and Local, and we added this down below. We updated that comment. We updated this to be 7.2 Gradle. We never did have the Swift 5.0 lines, which were bad. Lazy vector. RCT. So this is just pod stuff. Okay, and then we have React Native 67.2. And while this is going on, by the way, upgrades to React Native upgrades boilerplate 0.67.2 fixes. And what number was that anyway? 1877. That was a good year. Push that up. I don't know if it was a good year. It's probably a terrible year. 18, like anything in the 18, especially if you know, weren't male and white. So normalized color went up to 2.0. Okay. And that looks like pretty much it. So we push that up, good. And then now we have to make sure that I'm gonna run yarn CI. I have to do that from this yarn CI test. All right, and say test passed, or say tests failed. This is a trick that I do where it's a long running test, and this say command in macOS will actually audibly be like tests passed, etc. I read somewhere that they were working on native driver color animations in the Animate S API. Ooh, that's cool. Which would be awesome, I agree. You need to try out this say thing, that's cool. Yeah, you just do and, like 2 and symbols. Say passed, because that would be a successful thing. Or say failed, because that would be unsuccessful. It's nice when you have something going in the background, you're listening to music, maybe you're browsing Twitter, and all of a sudden, tests failed. And you're like, ah, really? But at least you're not sitting there like, oh, I guess I should go check. Oh, it's been sitting there for the last 10 minutes. You know, it's failed. Working on it now. Thanks. Wait, who's that? Amir? Amir Hussein Shikari from Iran. I usually like to follow people who interact positively. Kind of see what they're up to. Hi, my name is Amir. Nice to meet you, Amir. What's auto folder? It's been archived, okay. Auto region folder. So, in the meantime, we'll also create our PR. So, compare and pull request. Upgrades to, followed the upgrade helper guide. And we'll do that. And it will be this one. And upgrades the boilerplate project default version to React Native 0.67.2, which is the latest stable version. All right. And then I should mention in there that I did not do any of the Ruby stuff. Note that I did not add any of the Ruby bundler stuff, as we'll continue to rely on globally installed Cocoa Pods for now. Okay, I'll just update that. Check out the PR sometime this week. Tonight I have to finish some other stuff, but I'll get around to it where I can. Yeah, no problem, Danny. Appreciate it. Should probably mention... Yeah, just let them know. Yeah. All right, so we are running these very long tests. I wish that these tests were faster, to be honest, but not entirely sure how to make them faster, to be honest. I tried building the CLI using Rust, but that only shaved off like 3 seconds out of like 5 minutes. I assume we'll get the, like, once this passes, we'll probably merge it and release it. But, yeah. Okay. What's this? First immediate API call is no, oh yeah, that was one that I kind of, so this one's done. We can close that. Still running tests. Sorry, this is bugging me. Whoop. Save. I'll let Vanenshi Actually, yeah. I'm working on it on stream if you're interested. YouTube. Hey, always be selling, right? I gotta grow my audience. TV, Jamon, Holmgren. And actually, I need to... link those like that. I don't know if they link automatically, so just make sure that I do that. Got 15 people watching though. Pretty good for a Monday, hey? And you know what? I gotta say, as I always do, I appreciate everybody hanging out with me this morning and checking all this stuff out. It's fun. I love it. It's so much fun. This is like one of my favorite parts of my job. And people are like, this is your job? You get paid to do this? I mean, I'm probably ignoring something I'm supposed to be doing that's more important, but at the same time, this is important. We gotta keep Ignite upgraded, right? Gotta do it anyway. Stuff that has to happen. Somebody's gotta do it, and I might as well do it and do it on stream. Connect with other developers around the world. I mean, honestly, the people that we have in the comments, we got people from Egypt and India. Oh, you probably didn't hear that, but it just said test passed. Nice. By the way, what did it? Ooh. Ooh. So a little. All right. When this passes, this is just like a prettier thing. We got people from Portugal, by the way. I don't know. We got people from everywhere. Not as many in Asia, because it's really late, really early for them. And unfortunately, I can't hit everywhere around the globe with my timing. But yeah, this is just a prettier formatting thing. So once this passes, I'm going to push it up with a skip CI, and I really hope this passes. And then just merge it right away, because that's just a formatting thing. So run tests, please pass. Sometimes it just randomly fails. You have to start it again. We should eventually upgrade our TypeScript version. Or wait, what's the TypeScript ES tree? So we probably need to do some other updates here at some point. So, yeah, Portugal, that's me, yes. Oh, M. Fontes, if I remember right, you are one of Danny's co-workers, right? And Venenci, yeah, wow, you really start upgrading fast. Yeah, hey, thanks for the, you were the, yeah, that's you, right? Thanks for jumping on with us. So we actually just went through so Adil's from Pakistan, 12 o'clock at night. Well, I appreciate it. Oh, you're not Danny's M. Fontes. I thought you were one of his coworkers, sorry. But yeah, Venenci, we started upgrading this about an hour ago and went through it. We now are waiting for the tests to pass. I can show you the diff, which is right here. So we had to add this rn edit text material thing, and then also here there's a bug that basically got fixed with that. And then we removed Maven from there, added Maven Central here with excluding Facebook React for whatever reason there. Typo there apparently. Upgraded Gradle to 7.2, removed this tool chain, Swift 5.0, Swift 5.0. Upgraded, of course, React Native to 67.2. And then that's pretty much it. There's not much else that had to happen for what we were doing. And we also didn't do any of the Ruby upgrades that they had because we don't feel it's necessary. Do you have a Venentia, do you have a problem in like, sorry, not, do you have a project? Do you have a project using Ignite? Oh, hey, all checks passed. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is prettier formatting change, skip CI. We don't need to run CI on that. I'll just push that up and then I'm just gonna merge it. Okay, skip CI is good. All right, squash and merge. All right, so this is going to be a feature. No, is it a feature? I never know. I never know whether this should be a feature or a patch level, like a fix level. I think this is a feature because it upgrades a major version of React Native. But at the same time, the CLI hasn't changed. This is the problem with having both. We don't really follow Semver because of that. I'm gonna make it a feature. Yeah. Okay. Don't need that. I think anytime we go with a major version of React Native, it's a feature. It's not really a feature though. It's not really a feature. This is kind of blown. You know what? I'm going to go look at previous releases where we did upgrades. And just upgrades, you know? This was a big one here, 7.8. Okay, so this was a feature. I did do a feature on that one. Excuse me. There's an upgrade there. That was also a feature level. Really curious whether we have any other examples here. I just want to be consistent, I think, is the big thing. See, now here, this was a bug fixes, is what it says. I don't like that. I don't think it's not a bug fix. Or it kind of was, I guess. What version? Yeah, 1 to 2. Okay. You know what? I think I'm okay with. It's here, yeah. I'll look for another one. So this again was a bug fix by Nicholas. But the question is, yeah, it was just a patch level. So if it's just a patch level, I don't think I will. Excuse me. I think I will do feature for this because this is a full version. So let's do that. Did it for 2 of my projects with the Ruby. I use your template with Redux Toolkit. I use your really hardest decision. Yeah, I know, right? You use Redux Toolkit. I think I've talked to you about this before, maybe. Yeah. Why do you like Redux Toolkit? I'm not saying that you shouldn't. I'm just actually curious. Redux Toolkit is pretty cool. It's just still Redux. That was way more negative than I intended it to be. It came off more negative than I intended it to be. I'm really curious. I actually do want to know. Didn't mean it to be so negative. All right, so we're merging that. So that should be releasing here pretty soon. I can shut that down, shut that down. Tests all green. Then we have that one, which we'll look at later. And changelog 68, road to 68. I'm actually curious about this here. I'm gonna 68 here. Changelog for 68. I used MobX for a year, and then now I use Redux Toolkit. Yeah, MobX or MobX State Tree. They are two different things. Breaking. Okay. So there is a breaking change with this commit. Only one place is actually passing a non-nil. I don't know what that is, but let me go to this. What? Oh, okay. Really? Can I just look at the file? Whoops. View file. Okay. Now I can look at the... Okay, here we go. Tools support yarn. Okay. String color values and animated.color. Is that what you were talking about, Danny? I think it was you. Someone was. One of my clients forced me to use Redux, and I liked it. Okay, that's funny. We do have a client who is forcing us to use Redux as well. We used Redux for a long time. I just don't think Redux is a very good idea myself. Again, I'm being negative. I'm sorry. I'm just not a fan of the whole thing. The whole, like, the way it approaches state. I'm not a huge fan of, for example, just the idea of that you have to, I mean, like, Immer makes this a lot better, but still under the hood, it's still doing, it's still creating new objects like a billion times. So you can make the API looks better, but I like mutation. I like mutation. I think that avoiding mutation is usually an over optimization. And in fact, it's the opposite. It goes the other direction. Now, there are some situations where you should avoid mutation for sure, but I feel like you should be able to know when that is and when you don't need to. And if you don't, then you don't understand your data model well enough. This is kind of a half-formed thought, so take it for what it is, you know, like, I also am not 100% MST, you know, like there's other options. Sorry, MobX first I changed to MST after seeing your template. Redux is too much oftentimes. I think it depends on your project setup. Yeah, I agree with that, but also like, sorry, my wife is asking me a question. All right. But yes, so I don't know. This is something that we'll probably have to do some more kind of exploring of on this, but I just feel like, yeah, it goes too far. It's like, hey, everything has to be immutable and we have to like create a brand new object every time that we're doing anything. And Immer makes it better, but like, I don't know. FNM. By the way, I want to make sure that I'm... So this will be 7.10. Contrary to popular belief, the version after 7.9 is not 8.0. These are not digits. These are numbers. So 7.10, 7.95 if we want. Android specific. So let's see. Support string color values, new animated color node, support F&M. Added linter warning config for unstable nested. Vendor bundle into gitignore template. Okay. So in other words, that .vendor/bundle is now gitignored. So that means that we don't necessarily need to have that. Animated event. Yeah, this is important because you don't want to be dumping all of your gems into source control. Ninja Turtles approved. I think I missed something there again. You end up making crazy complex selectors with Redux unless you use Immer. Yeah, can't argue with it. Sorry, Bench. I didn't mean to just start bashing Redux. I really didn't. My bad. I know there's Redux fans. There's a lot of Redux fans out there. It's just sort of like the 800-pound gorilla out there, and I'm just kind of like, why does this have to be the default, you know? Like, I get it, but I like immutability because I'm a functional programming fan. However, I don't think we should ever be Puritans. I agree with that, Danny. I like functional programming. I did Elm, Elixir, you know. Use what fits your project and team, yep. Back when you approved mutation. Oh man, yeah, that's hilarious. Okay, that's funny. That's funny. As an 80s child thing for sure. Set selection imperative method. Okay. Numeric keys from native events. Animated event can be used to extract values of numeric. What is that? That sounds interesting. On pointer move events get dispatched with an offset X and Y. But event animation driver in a React Native Android is not able to extract values with such keys, even though the equivalent does. Readable type, readable array. So instead of just getting the map, we check to see if it's not null. And then we check the key type. If it's a map, then we get the map. So it's hanging onto a map or an array, not just a map. It's either a map or an array. And then this is Java, by the way. Throw. By the way, people who say that Java and JavaScript are not related at all have never looked at Java and JavaScript. There's a lot of similarities. Like this could be JavaScript except for the int and the readable type and the fact that they don't put the stupid triple equals. Otherwise, like what, you know, like all this stuff is, you could run this in JavaScript if you took those things out. This is literally, this could be JavaScript. Even the for, like just remove the int there. This could be JavaScript. This import syntax is a little different, but don't tell me that Java and JavaScript aren't related. All right, yeah, that looks interesting. Pretty simple little small change, nice. I'm not a fan, really, says Venenci. What is the? You're not a fan of what? Is that going back to Redux, or are you going back to, or what are you not a fan of? Do not strip any ProGuard rules. Okay, well there's a lot here. I'll have to look at it some other time. Did we get the release? Refresh. Yay, there it is. There it is, there it is, there it is. Oh, we got a bug fix in there too somehow. This one must have skipped. Yeah, we skipped it apparently. Okay, optionals for brackets. What was that one anyway? Oh, so Robin queued it up. Nice. I didn't know that that was a thing. A few different things, and then it gives that option. Yeah, okay, that's reasonable. That's reasonable. Nice. So that is also included in 7.10. I really like semantic release because it does stuff like this for you. Bug fixes and features. Yeah, that's awesome. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, when you add TypeScript in the mix, it's like we're trying to be closer to strongly typed like Java. It's true. Although Java's type system is not as good as TypeScript, in my opinion. I could be wrong about that, but that's just my opinion. All right, so we are here as this. Of course, I gotta like my own tweet. So let's go star ignite version, what is it? 7.10. Whoa. 7.10.0 is released. And I'm just gonna go V. Upgrades the boilerplate React Native version to the latest 0.67.2. Fixes a minor bug with, what was it anyway? It was I don't understand the brackets thing. Optional regex bracket and components for translation, or for translation. Minor translation regex bug. That's cool. All right, let's tweet that out. Right there. And then I'm just gonna go to this and retweet it. All right. Cool. All right, got that retweeted. Still hate writing Java though, all the compiling. Yeah. A lot of the tooling around Java is not very reliable and stuff like that. Okay, so mission accomplished. And we did it in about 90 minutes, which I'm very happy about. Nice. Good to go on that. Everything upgraded, everything tests pass. Yeah, that's all we really needed to do today. I have to get ready for a funeral this afternoon. My wife needs me to help her with something, so I'm gonna go do that. Thanks everybody for hanging out with me today. I'll be back on Friday. I don't remember if we have a guest on Friday or not. Maybe Derek could update folks on that. I haven't checked the schedule for Friday yet and started prepping for that. But we do have some cool guests lined up, and we have some things. By the way, Gant and I are going to be doing some stuff once he emerges from the jungle of what he's working on. But we are going to be doing some stuff together, so stay tuned. Gant and I are going to be having some fun. There's going to be some fun. He and I. I'm going to force him to stay for 3 hours. We're going to be working for 3 hours on stream because I haven't had enough of working with him for the past 3 years, so I'm going to get it all in at once. So just stay tuned for that. Gant's going to be on. Danny's going to be on too. We're going to have some fun. Lots of stuff happening. All right. Well, I will talk to you all later. And thanks for hanging out, Danny. Yeah, let me know if you need anything on that PR. I'm happy to take another look at it. But otherwise, I will see you all on Friday. Take care.